it pulled my parents away. It stole
Yes.
everything.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
Safety, comfort, um, not having to feel exposed.
Mhm.
You felt, I don't know, I was living in my own bubble before then. And then after that happened, I wasn't able to do that anymore.
Sure.
Because it's either sit back and let the story be told. I mean, again, initially it was to find the kids, but then when that became reality that they were found buried in the back of Chad Daybell's backyard,
Yeah.
a whole 10 months later, I mean, that was just devastating on top of COVID, on top of we had 2 hurricanes rip through Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is Southwest Louisiana, back to back. Well, I say back to back, the end of August and then around October 10th, 9th, or somewhere around there.
Mhm.
Anyways, just it was horrifying. And the kids being found in June. I mean, it was just traumatic.
Terrible.
My fiance had a thoracotomy in February, right about the same time that we were supposed to get married, and that they, what do you call that? Extradited Lori from Hawaii to Idaho. So it was just all at one time. My parents are gone, and then I'm watching them on TV because of COVID. It allowed, at least this is like the little, would you say, happy silver linings, where because of COVID, it started showing and sharing Zoom court hearings, so I could watch it on TV and I wouldn't have to be there, although I wanted to be there. Um, it was very frustrating. It's a
Oh,
blur too.
I'm sure it was a blur for sure. Yeah.
And early in the case, when the kids were missing, Facebook groups, I mean, popped up everywhere and all seeking justice, right? Where are the kids? Where are the kids? Where are the kids?
It took
And
over. That was the only discussion happening on YouTube. It was crazy.
mhm, yeah. And then in the like, I was looking in comment sections, just that's where it's at, right? You follow the comments. If you don't know that, then go there because that's where the conversation is.
Yeah,
And you find out a lot just by comments,
that's
what
right.
people are saying. And that's when I saw that a lot of people were denying that they believed in the 140, just the denial of the religious part. And
Yeah.
so it started at the very jump. And that puzzled me because I'm like, I knew nothing about Mormonism at all. Didn't even know Charles had converted from Catholic to Mormonism for Lori. Didn't even know.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, well, damn.
Wow.
Um,
God, what a
I
way to find out too. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I mean, before any of that happened, I remember a time back when cartoons would come on Saturdays when I was a kid, and there
Mhm.
was a commercial or something from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that said, um, "Compassion, pass it along." It stuck with me. That's all I knew about Mormonism.
Mm.
So I didn't know that it's pretty separate from Christianity. Okay. I know that a lot of believing Mormons will, like, fight me for that. Whatever. I'm not here to, that's not why I'm here. I'm here, because I've been researching into the belief system for sure of Chad and Lori. I wanted to know what made them a cult, separate from their own shared religious upbringing. And so, but Lauren and John popped up on my radar in these Facebook groups. I started to see this couple pushing themselves, the credentials, the we want to help, and until they finally made their way to Kay and Larry, who are my parents, and the rest is freaking history.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
and so now if you fast forward, so Lauren has not behaved in a way that inspired confidence for a lot of people. People that were actually working with her day to day, they really felt like she was sort of uber super ambitious, wasn't really open to, I guess, other suggestions. Maybe, is that fair?
Yes, but I didn't know that until after her 9-hour live. I didn't know
But you,
the gist of it. I didn't
but
know all
you
these people.
didn't you kind of feel unsure of
Yeah,
her?
in 2021 when Lori went incompetent, and this is where Awen Reese came in, and she was able to clarify this for me because it's exactly what I thought it was, where the court, because this F's with Lori's appeal, possibly, you know what I'm saying? And she actually did appeal before all this stuff happened, and it's around this kind of stuff. So it's around this time, Mark Means and all that stuff. So it's scary, okay? And people like Lauren, Lori Hellis, um, and others. There are other opportunistic people, in my opinion, who just want to say, "You heard it here first. I got it. Hey, I got the tea." When people call your trauma a tea, like some tea, it
Yes,
is it makes you feel some kind of way. Like, you have to dissociate from that, like you do. I have to detach
absolutely.
and pretend like I have to let all that stuff go in order to talk about the stuff that we have to talk about, right? I mean, down to how they found their bodies and all the things that were done and autopsies and no autopsy, no way to tell the type of death it was or how she died and those kind of things. So, but early on, one thing that flew up on my radar about Lauren and Dr. John, I use that term loosely, was the fact that they wouldn't acknowledge it, or Lauren, because Dr. John really, he was just starting to go on the lives with her, with Lauren
Can I
around that
just
time.
say this? I felt like in the beginning, he seemed really uncomfortable. It
Very.
was
And
that
I
your
get it.
experience?
I get it. I mean, I hate the damn camera. Hate it.
But then you look at her views when it's
Mhm.
just Lauren, and you compare the videos where he's commenting and what happens to the views. They
They
just
go up.
explode, right? They
Mhm.
just
They're
explode.
there
Like,
for him. He adds credibility to her resume,
yeah,
and she is not scared to drop it. The
but
credentials.
it's in name only, right? It's not
Mhm.
up
Proven.
until we got the 3.5 hour response that he gave, and I'm going to use
Yeah.
that word carefully.
Yeah.
Everybody just accepted that he's great, he's perfect,
I
he's every,
didn't. But that's
and
me.
and and then we got the 3.5 hours, and we were like, there's a lot of problems here. Starting first with ethical violations. A, a lot of people that I know are healthcare providers that don't talk about
Mhm.
being on YouTube. People don't know, and behind the scenes, they were pretty aghast at the way
Mhm.
he handled that three and a half
Wow.
hours. Yeah.
I mean, I'm aghast, and I'm not credentialed. I'm just also I have common sense, right? Just like
Yes.
everybody else that's not
Yes.
credentialed. They act like, or at least I get this, they act like we're not like we don't comprehend.
Yeah.
Like
Very
we need to be told
condescending.
what to think and not here, this is my opinion. Okay? No, this is what it is, and it sets the precedent for the case. Done.
Exactly.
It's locked
Exactly.
in.
Yep.
And then that's that. The rest is history. Okay?
Yep.
But I mean, whenever back in 2021, whenever I had a friend named Jen, the L mom, most of you will know her
Yeah.
as the L mom,
I know who the L
and
mom was. Yeah.
she was awesome. There's not many people you can really trust behind, or anywhere really, but in like the public media with a high profile case, it's disgusting.
Yep.
But this really needs to be brought out because
Yes.
it's really disgusting. And it like is this whole crime con ish genre pushing narrative where they are creating a fandom out of crime. Just, you know what I mean? Like the Datelines and the 2020s, and I mean, they're great shows. I love to watch them myself. However, it it becomes not notorious. They're not notorious killers of children and innocent people, but they become a commodity,
And,
currency.
and that's the problem, right?
It's
That
gross.
the stories, the nightmares, the traumas that are out there that you guys are living, right?
Mhm.
The family members, the friends, those people have interest in that because there's something to learn from maybe they are living in a domestic violence situation themselves. Maybe they've been a victim of some kind of crime and they're seeking understanding. But now it's been monetized. And
Yep.
because it's been monetized, now you get a lot of narcissistic glee that if you get lucky and you get the bright shiny object, oh, I better
Mhm.
befriend Kay and Larry or Colby. I
Or
better
who knows if
befriend
the case.
them.
Yes.
Yet then that's my path to success and big
Mhm.
houses and millions of dollars
And it's like a
because
virtue. I come off as a virtuous person,
yeah,
whomever can go and help,
I
quote
was
unquote.
horrified that she said she had to be there at the trial for
Yeah,
justice for JJ and abandoned her own family in medical care.
there's a
What?
term for that. It's called she martyred herself,
Oh
because
my!
without Lauren, the victims would not have gotten justice. So now
I
you
was
know.
horrified. I was
Mhm. Yeah,
horrified.
everybody
Horrified.
should be, and I don't know, this isn't about look, I've been accused in my comment section since then of being jealous, and I'm gonna try not to cuss right now.
You can cuss. Nobody cares if you
I
cuss.
just like, F you. That you're not getting it then, and don't
Yes.
say that you're here for the victims, because you're sure the F not, it turns
Yeah.
out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're
Yeah.
not, you don't get it, and, like, do me a favor and please remove yourself, like, thank you. Just
Absolutely. Yeah.
no need to what? Announce the departure, right? Yeah.
Question. Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know, so Kresha has like earned her own PhD in what should we call it? Oh my God, it's so
Exactly,
intricate.
right? What the hell do you call this knowledge right here? It's
I don't
disgusting. I'm
know.
like, "What do I
It's
do? What is that?"
it's like the power structure of religious groups that really do it
Neo-fundamentalism or whatever is what John, Dehlin calls it. Neo-fundament I
yes.
know. But it's like, parasocial like, it's I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I've been trying to find a term. And
In
just
short, it's brain control, right? It's mind
yeah,
control tactics that are being put in
at
place by a religious
today
organization.
today
And
in multiple cases in this
yes,
same movement.
yes.
So
How, okay, so if we leave Jason Mao and the great gals out of it, um, um, tell me a little bit about how you believe the narrative was controlled in support of trying to make the church look squeaky clean. That they didn't
um,
want Lori and Chad and their horrific, ungodly nightmare behavior. They didn't want that being a reflection, even though they
mhm.
were allowing this woman to go into temple every single day for 8 hours a day. That is not normal.
And Chad held a
So,
calling at the time of the murders.
and Chad had a calling. So, how do you how do you see this control by the Mormon church in today's world? Not historically, but in today's world.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, I've done a lot of research, and it's really hard to pull all these things in at one time, especially with the way my brain has been I don't know about strained. But my like, seriously, I've been very fragmented the past couple weeks, and it's been really frustrating because I have so much that I buried down and even tried to just get past because of, with Lauren and John. Well, mainly with Lauren. I'm not gonna bring him into it till just recently for sure. But, just all that, okay, having to suppress that, having to, like, say, "There must be something wrong with me," because, I couldn't even tell my mom. My mom didn't even believe me, and it caused a rift between me and my mom
I'm so
years ago,
sorry.
and I just kind of, like, drew back and guarded myself. Boundary, like,
Yes.
"Mm-mm, I'm not, this hurts," like, who you can't trust anybody. I trusted my fiance, thank God. He's my rock, but,
Yes.
and then I'm having to, like, navigate publicly without
Very
airing out
difficult.
the laundry, because it's mine and my mom's business. It's between me and Lauren. They know what they did. I
Yeah.
didn't know exactly what they did, but turns out I wasn't wrong. Um, so and I mean, again, it's just more ethical violations than anything. It just is really shitty. And not to mention, just finding out that they did it also in the Alec Murdaugh case, where they published a client attorney, privileged phone call and then weren't gonna retract it, even though they were told not to publish it
Mm.
back in 2022, I think. But I mean,
Mm.
I'm just saying, so that's all that. But all that has been, busting loose lately because lies catch up and darkness comes to light. We know that. And it's just a matter of time. But just to find out how betrayed how I feel so betrayed. Just not just by Lauren, not just by John, but also by Megan Connor, who's Lori and Alex's cousin, by
Yep.
Trisha at Web Sleuth, who, you know, I thought it was somebody I could trust, by Joe Schmo, who, I mean, whatever, just got to talk about the stuff. He
Boy,
was up
that
for it.
was, yeah, that was crazy story. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm the same with every one of these people that I am with you, that I am on the street, that I am at the store, I'm the same. If I tell you something, I'm not, I mean, I might be a little like, oh God, what did I say? But I mean, it's nothing that I wouldn't say to your face.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about that.
Yes.
But so it's like all this is like bubbling up. And it's so, again, all that to tell you the fragmenting of my brain.
Of course.
And the stuff with the church, it became apparent to me that just like Lori's family, in my opinion, the Cox family, her mom, who I've met in person, slept under the same roof, which is frightening. Not to mention Lori, even telling my daughter, who was my daughter was the one who spent the most time with Lori and Charles and JJ and Tylee. Well, if when Tylee would stay there, she would always, like, if my daughter went with my mom and or Larry, then when they would go, they would all leave, like Lori and Charles and Colby, and they would take a break
Yeah.
because like they came in. So, anyways, but my daughter was told by Lori that she was special, and I just want to like I want to go hood on her real quick, just real quick, just for that. Like, I already know she's special. She knows she's special. We don't need you to tell her she's special. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know. Just is a whole nother level of betrayal. Just betrayal. That's the word of the day. So, um, the mind control comes in. Well, let's see. The church is also very image cognizant, okay?
Yes.
They really pride themselves on coming off as squeaky clean, white and delightsome, you know?
Uh-huh.
Um, there's nothing to hide there. It's also a thing that they have bought, they have a, what's it called? communication arm of the church or whatever that's over. It's called Bonneville Communications International, where they have programs like BYU TV. They have I'm trying to think of the other one. Uh, anyways, so they have a couple different programs that, are I'll in quotes right now I'm saying are safe resources or sources for their congregation to watch and make sure that it's approved by the church. It's got their stamp of approval on it. They really do like and teach,
Like
and in my
Jody
opinion,
Hildebrandt was their safe therapist.
one of them. There's so many more, and that's frightening. That is so frightening because it is this system that has been exposed by Jody Hildebrandt's niece, who goes by they, them pronouns. So I'm just, when you hear me say they. So when Jesse came out, they said that their aunt, she was, sorry, I suck at this. She was dropped off with her aunt by her parents back when she was kind of being rebellious, okay? And just happened to turn out that Jody was a therapist. She had her license, which is frightening already. And, at that point in time, or around that time, it came to be known that, like the troubled teen, what do they call those? Troubled teen camps or whatever, wilderness camps and things like that. At that time, Jody was in the same one where Paris Hilton was, the same ranch. So, and not to mention that Jody
Wow.
Hildebrandt is also part of the 12-step program, like creating that modality or whatever you call it. See, I have
Mhm.
to learn all this terminology that I'm like, what? From every sector of life, okay?
Mhm.
Legal to psychological to it's like, where are we
Well,
going?
yeah, it's all
Church.
about people and control. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god. But yeah, the church is definitely so worried about its image, and that seems to be the gist of it. That's my takeaway,
Well,
is that is the only thing that's important.
they're so worried about their image, and yet how much time is the Mormon church taking to manipulate and
Remedy?
model other people's thoughts? Like they're kind of like
Mhm.
that classic thought police organization,
Yeah,
right? They're kind of
yeah.
scary.
Sounds a lot like what I've been seeing and hearing recently for sure, now that I'm aware of what's really going on and I'm looking back, right? Hindsight thing, because I wasn't aware of all this part of it. So I'm looking back, I'm like trying to go through my files, and just in my own mind and say, okay, oh, I remember when this happened. What, trying to figure out what was going on at that time because I met Lindsay, I met Lauren, and I don't know if it's the same Sarah. I hope not, because that's a little, I'm gonna have to do some more thinking. But there was a Sarah who is actually in the police reports or the declarations for Lauren from the stalking injunction, okay? And I
Mhm.
don't know if it's the same Sarah that my source gave me from last night. I mean, she gave it to me last week, but I shared it last night. So,
And to be fair, I haven't seen that.
mm-mm,
Was it last night that Christina was on with you
mm-mm. No, she was in Jay's chat earlier. So was
T-
Janice. She came in too.
today?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I
As
haven't
soon as
seen
it
any
ended,
of that.
I saw your other live, and I was like, "Oh my god." Because it's like it's starting to really look really bad for Hidden True Crime. Lauren and
Mhm.
John, their brand, it's really looking, and not only them, Megan and Joe, horrible. Trisha, horrible. Not looking good. Probably should have came clean. Maybe
I
shouldn't have
don't know.
participated.
Yeah. I don't know how you, after all the lies and the denials, and yet the actual family is voicing, no, these were our experiences. These things really happened to us. And so then you hit them with you strike their channel, or you send a CND, or I don't know what, I don't know what she thinks she's doing.
while while saying, I do not support cancel culture. I don't. Okay. It's the same concept of how the Mormon church uses the whole don't think about sex. Don't think about it. What the hell? Now we're gonna think about it. Okay.
100%. Yes.
What do you think that was? It was
Yes.
intentional. It was calculated, in my opinion. It was methodical. It was just disgusting how she said, "Stalker, my stalker." Everybody repeated it verbatim from that point on until people started to catch on, myself included.
And all of the information we've heard since then, would anybody call Christina or any of those women a stalker? Even the cops treated Christina with respect, and they had not even veiled disdain for Lauren Matthias. You could see it on their body cams because
Right.
they knew that this was a mean girl playing games. They saw
Mhm.
it. Yeah. They
The judge saw
weaponized the
it.
police. They did.
Mhm. Oh, everything. I am of the opinion now that Lauren weaponizes everything just like Lori does. It is no different, and
That's so
it's
scary,
really
Trisha.
triggering. It's triggering.
It's
It
so
is.
scary. Yeah, it's so scary.
It's like you see it happening all over again, although I wasn't there to see Lori, melting down and, and but I've read so much about it. I know everything as far as I can, humanly possible about what went down. I don't know everything, but I mean, I try to be aware of all the situations, okay? That way I can speak educated about it,
Yeah.
aware of it. Yeah, the crime
Well,
con thing was a freaking hoax, man. The whole thing is a hoax. And the
it's
disgusting
all
thing
just
behind
money.
it.
That's all it is money.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I was just saying the crime the crime con.
It is a con. It 100%. Yeah.
And to find out Glenn Beck is behind it financially is disgusting. It's another betrayal in a sense,
No.
okay? Yes.
Glenn Beck is behind CrimeCon?
Yep. I don't know how to explain it because it's new news. So it's like,
Well,
but
yeah, so you
he's also behind that movement that Jason Mount is in, the
y
912ers,
that's exactly right. Yeah.
which is that the
Rescuing the
9/11.
children. Yep.
Yeah, so whenever 9/11 happened, they knew how, looking back, how so many people, men, women, went and sacrificed their lives to go fight for our country because it pissed them off something good, right?
Yeah.
Right, it pissed us all off, I think. But but so the Charlie Kirk situation, at least how it looks to me right as of right now, okay, this is just my opinion, not hers. It looks like that was a staged event of some sort, to get people to go and sacrifice and give their lives over and recruit. It was a recruiting opportunity for TPUSA and that movement, which Frank Vandersloot is behind.
God. That's so aw and Lauren Matthias literally compared herself to Charlie Kirk, to his
Charlie Kirk,
death.
Charles Bellow, Tylee Ryan,
The
uh,
Charles Bellow reference was aberrant because we did. You said, "Well, I wasn't there to see what Lori was actually doing day to day," but we
mhm,
saw Charles. We saw your
mhm.
uncle, and him begging for help, and he was so controlled, but you could just see the emotion in him.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I now I've done that, but I never wanna take anything away from his experience because it's
Oh my God! It was it.
deadly. It was
Oh,
deadly
it was
and
deadly. He was dealing with someone who was absolutely
insane
mentally deranged, insane. There was
and
mass
enabled.
delusion.
Enabled. Enabled is the
Woo,
most
and
important part.
so
Enabled.
enabled. So enabled.
And the
So
same thing with Lauren.
I'm still not happy with the 7 gatherers.
Me
I
neither.
think the church really, really brushed over that. And I think all 7 of those women, they should be they did accessorize. They did help that
Yes.
those crimes happened. They did. I don't care
They're
what anybody
locking
says.
people up right now today. Even here, I just saw a story last night from a few days ago where this guy posted a like a not a meme, but basically a same quote that was from Trump and about we need to get over this. And he used it for the Charlie Kirk. This guy did. He used it for the Charlie
Yeah.
Kirk situation, and they arrested him. I'm just like, it's just like the UK where you can't. It's the thought police, y'all. And it's like, what are we doing? And it's scary. And so you have people like Lauren, in my opinion, I think we all got to see it, where she's doing this very tactic to shut down critics. And don't think that it doesn't go back to Mormonism history, like Mormon history, because it does. Joseph Smith destroyed a whole printing press because he didn't like what they were saying about him.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Frank Vandersloot bought radio stations and TV stations, and that eventually became East Idaho News and would be another authoritative source dictating my family's story, distancing the church from the crimes. It's so betraying.
So, okay. So we know that, like the story of Ruby and Jody Hildebrandt, we know that Jody Hildebrandt was sanctioned by the church, hands down, no question about it. They were given referrals to her, and she was turning around and reporting back to the church, right?
They were paying for it too, according to Jessie. She had done some of the books.
So crazy, right? I mean, I've
know.
never seen anything like that before.
David Hamblin was doing it too. He's another psychologist that got his revoked. He's that egregious case I've been trying to dive into, learning about it. It's basically what Tim Ballard is calling the shadow government, the shadow church, the deep state, the deep church, which I believe he's part of. So it's like, huh. Anyways,
so do you believe?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So we know that Jody Hildebrandt is a asset of the Mormon Church, or she was.
Mm-hmm.
She was an asset of the Mormon Church, and she kind of went off in my opinion, I think she really went off the rails and kind of did that whole drunk with power thing. Felt like she was untouchable, that she was the Mormon Church, kind of like Chad Daybell did, right?
Yep.
Do you believe that Lauren, do you believe that she was given the job to report your family story?
I wonder. And I don't think
I'll ever know what was being said, the connect. Do you think
to satisfy public hunger, to like curb that? And it's weird how she got all of the interview, like with Sean Little Bear, active Mormon, Eric Smith, who was excommunicated, but anyways, and so some other ones, but I don't know whether they're in or out of the church. But I mean, she kind of landed these exclusive interviews, I'll call them. And, I mean, again, the only people that are the scapegoat or to blame is Chad and Lori. None of the other people that were casting out, that were praying away for my family to die, for Tammy to die, and Charles and Brandon, they're still in the church, didn't even have to pick trash up. I mean, I got a DWI and I had to pick trash up. I had to do all kinds of stuff for a whole year.
Those women that went in there and held hands and prayed for the death of Charles, and it's mindless that those people were not held responsible by the legal system.
And then people felt sorry for them when they testified. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Come at me, F with me right now. Like, I don't care. Like, you did that.
If we just talk about normal people, like if me and you are sitting around and we're just talking, right? And I start talking about how I have a portal that I can go in the closet and I can talk to long
Mhm.
lost relatives. And my husband has been possessed and he needs to die so my husband's soul can go on to the next world. Are
Mhm.
you just going to sit there
And
and
I'm
say,
pro
"Oh yes, I'll pray with you. We'll
yeah.
pray for the death of what used to be your husband"?
I thought it was
Of
just
course not.
spiritual. But
Of
then people
course
start
not. You'd be
dying and they're
horrified.
still doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. When you've got
And then they
people,
didn't
little
come
kids
forward right
disappearing.
away. I'm sorry.
No, they
I
were
get
in it.
excited. They didn't come forward right away either.
No.
Melanie Gibb, I think she came forward and, with public knowledge at that time, she was able to, just like Audrey, I believe, were able to tailor their story accordingly.
Yeah.
It's interesting how you can do that or you're given the opportunity to do that.
And
Um, you know,
how many meetings, sorry y'all can see the beast.
it's
um
cute.
she is full-blooded pit
Oh,
bull.
she's
She is
tall.
solid muscle and the biggest
Yep.
baby you've ever seen.
I
She's
used to
just a
have
baby.
I used to have 3 and their tails would kick my butt. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my
Yeah, it's a
god."
whop if they hit you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
crazy.
okay,
Mm.
so you and I talked years ago that it it was hard to believe that Lori and Chad thought all this up in their own demented minds.
I knew
That
better.
they were empowered, right? They were
Yep.
given permission, in my
It
opinion. This
it's
is
not
my
Chad.
opinion. I'm not saying
Mhm.
this is Krusha. This
It
is
is
me
my
only.
opinion though too.
Heavens, what is that dog is going to break my window? Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. Wow. I
I
don't know if
get
y'all
it.
can see her. Hold on. She'll.
Awen says, "Don't forget Melanie Gibb lied to the police for a week about where JJ was until she finally broke." They actually interviewed her son, a minor, and at the time, and they, had set up allegedly, the FBI had set up, like, a camera to watch her and just know that she was interacting with Zalema, Alex Cox, Melanie Boudreaux at that time, and, acting dumb whenever she came forward. And then also whenever she had her we call it her East Idaho News extravaganza, okay?
Mhm.
Melanie Gibbs' big debut, okay? That was disgusting, by the way. And, like, my mom was emailed by East Idaho News, by Nate Eaton, and I remember when I went over to, her and Larry's house, she gave me the stapled papers, the emails, and it was basically the way that Nate does the interview, it's in that order and kind of the same, he basically was giving my mom like a thumbs up, mom and Larry a thumbs up, I mean, not a thumbs up, a heads up, sorry,
Mhm. Mhm.
of what to kind of expect, okay? And so that same outline was used for the structure of that entire interview.
Wow.
And it also mirrors a lot what we now know or what became the infamous Reddit email, which was, that weird I don't know, it was just weird stuff, but it's very accurate about Merle and I gave Lori to Chad, the savior was there, blah, blah, blah. But the outline mirrors that, but without all the gibberish, okay? So
Well, and I clearly don't know the details like you do at all, but I can tell you this, when you hear that coming out of these emails, my mind goes right back to the temple
mhm,
and Jason Mao. Oh, I
and control.
just ran across, accidentally ran
It
into
was on his
Lori.
computer. Well, what are you
I
doing with Chad's computer? Police? And
oh
how does Ian Pawlowski oh, wait, I'm sorry. How does whoever had it, okay? I don't even
yeah.
remember at this point. It was either Julie Rowe, which again, I don't anyways, Melanie Gibb and David Warwick, who actually wrote that infamous Reddit email, okay? And
Wow.
also Melanie Gibb is the one who interviewed with Nate, okay?
And
To me,
he
it's
seemed to
controlled
really have
opposition.
affection for her, didn't he?
Mm, I'm just saying. It's like, "Hey, let's just shock them with zombie," the term zombie, because you stop thinking beyond that point. I've learned. It's called shock doctrine. And Tim Ballard uses the same tactic, just like Lauren also used the same tactic when she said, "My stalker, my family," and the
Ugh.
emphasis and the dry cries, right? Mhm.
Girl, I have PTSD forever from her. My family. And what? I was like, Charles, I had a stalker. And
I'm
I'm like, oh
dark.
my God,
I'm
Lauren,
dark.
shut
Who
up.
the hell's labeling you dark
I'm
besides
not
yourself?
dark. I'm not dark. And I'm like, no, but are you crazy? It was like awful,
I mean, I didn't say
horrible.
it is what I'll say. I'll say when she said she was dark, well, I didn't say it, you know?
Yeah,
If
right?
the shoe fits, sister, wear it.
So
And I mean,
strange.
not to mention hidden true crime and then, like, watching other YouTube creators dig into this, it revealed, like, hidden productions, but it was, like, an LLC founded back in 2009, and I'm like, "That's way before hidden true crime came to being
What
10
is
years
that
later."
about? Do you know what
Hidden
that's about?
actually hidden means occult, however you wanna look at it, It does. Hidden, go look for a word, what do you call it? A similar word? There's a word for that, but, um,
So so
synonym.
2009, the LLC was obtained. That was by John?
I mean, yeah, yes.
That is so weird. Because you know what? When they came out with the name Hidden True Crime, I
It was
really
good,
found that odd. I really had a hard time
but,
understanding
I mean,
that.
it was kinda catchy, to me, and I was like, "Well, the hidden motives, okay." But, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing now is looking for all the hidden motives
Yeah,
because they everywhere, turns
yeah.
out,
So Hidden
which is
Productions was 2009,
mhm,
but Lauren didn't really start until when?
2020. They
Damn.
say that they, would meet for their, uh they would have a conversation around their dinner table or whatever. And the way they would I forget what was in their description. Let me see if I can go find it real so I can speak educated and not guessing. Um, the way they were wanting to brand themselves basically, like what they expect to do, kinda like their mission. So,
Awen, welcome. Glad you're here.
yeah, me too.
Um, what is TCU? Is there code?
True Crime Underground, that was a Facebook. Okay.
And
That's
was
what it
that
started.
also connected to the Matthiases?
Somewhat. I don't know to what extent, but, like, when they first started out, their channel or whatever, when they first started doing lives, they had, like, one of their mods was named Cece, and she was also a mod in the True Crime Underground Facebook group with Carl Danger as well. I don't know how connected they were, but I think they parted ways since, if I had to guess.
A
So,
lot of
I'm
people have
reading.
parted ways
I
with
know.
with
Well,
Lauren.
we wonder. We wonder. She lost all her co they won't work with me anymore. Well, no shit. I bet not.
My
They're smart.
my phone was silent.
Well, yeah, and that's strange for somebody claiming stalk to be
I mean, if
stalked.
you're being stalked, you would think that your phone would be on fire, right? You'd be afraid to
Right.
look. I woke up in the middle of the night. Has there
Having
been
a
another
"Oh, what did
post?
they post? What did they post?"
Is there another post? It's
I
like,
woke up in the middle
girl,
of the night
you got a
going,
YouTube
"Zombies."
channel. Don't you want them posting? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
right? Yeah, anyways, so their description reads, "Thank you for subscribing," and I didn't, but, Hidden True Crime is criminal psychology reinvented. That is no lie.
Oh,
We
let's
are
don't
a
reinvent it,
we
Dr. John. Please don't.
Yeah, stop.
Reinventing the wheel, no.
Yeah, we're going backwards. We are a forensic psychologist and journalist who are husband and wife delving into the psychological facets of unthinkable crimes. Join us. Oh, you need to put a period after the end of that, not a comma. Anyways,
Journal
join us
Miss
on
Journalist.
yeah. Join us on a journey into the darkest unconscious motivations that drive human behaviors. Lauren Matthias has spent a decade as a TV reporter. She's currently the producer mm, and host of Hidden True Crime. Dr. John Matthias is a psychologist who's performed psychological evaluations since 1996. Proof or it didn't happen. Is an
And
expert
right,
witness for the federal government and consults on high-profile cases. Dr. Matthias graduated from Princeton University and the University of South Carolina. Southern California, I'm sorry. I don't know
and
why I just
right
said that.
there, this is important because right there, that little blurb that said he's been a criminal psychologist, he's consulted on these crimes, he does work with the federal government. Hit right there, that little paragraph will take his license. That's it. And here's the
If
reason why.
does he have one?
He doesn't have a
That's
license.
where I'm at. I wanna know. I do wanna know now, 'cause now
Yeah,
I
he's
doubt
on the
everything they say.
registry. He's on the registry.
Oh, man. They have
But here's
314,000 subscribers now, it says on that
300 and
description.
how many?
314,000. So that's alright, I
But
guess.
didn't they
It's
start at
better.
330 when this drama broke out?
320, 321, almost 322, maybe, I don't know, somewhere around there.
Okay, so
I don't
they've
know.
lost right at like 7,000. Wow.
Mhm. It's been dropping,
That's shocking.
steady. I mean, I hope it continues to drop. I
Yep.
don't like cancel culture either, but I also don't like abusive people who exploit families at their most vulnerable times and then get touted for it. Get,
Yeah.
awards, at CrimeCon, like the Clue Award.
Yeah. No, he is licensed. He's on the state registry.
Okay.
Um, the problem though, the misstep, well, there's multiple missteps, okay? But the big one is that paragraph that says, I am using my position, my
My credentials,
credentials, my authority,
my
to
experience.
my experience to inform the content that I'm bringing to you, right? So
Yep.
right there, you're
Mhm.
on the hook for your ethics code. Right there in
Right.
that moment, you're on the hook.
People
Where
have bought in. Right.
so he went really far. He even went through diagnostic criteria talking about two specific people, in essence walking through a diagnosis. Now I think we got to be really fair about this. To make a diagnosis, it requires an examination. Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
Not
but
just a
these,
narrative setting.
not just the narrative, but the problem is this: he's not talking about people he doesn't know. He's talking about people that he does know. He's talking about people that he comes in contact with. So if those reports are made to the board, that's not going to be a throwaway. That's going to be a real board complaint that will be considered actionable at the very least for a true investigation. So the
What I don't
overlap he went too far with that little silly paragraph there.
mm,
He just so I don't know what anybody
misrepresentation. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know that anybody would do anything, but I think he definitely should have been very
That's current.
thoughtful about the things he was saying on his public platform with that moniker there, right? I think, and
Yeah.
Tiger Lily, you're a peach, by the way. Tiger Lily says, "Oh, I'm smelling salts. That's defamation to say the great and powerful Dr. Babe John isn't
It's a
licensed. I'm reporting you." Okay, knock yourself out, Tiger. You did it, girl.
blasphemy.
Just
Yeah.
do it, girl. I don't care what you do. All right, sorry, I had to have
Right.
my little fit. I'm
Hey.
good
I get it. Trust me. I
now.
get it too. I mean, I get these same kind of things and I'm like, okay, again, why are you here? Like what why are you here? Are you
You know why
here
they're here.
for justice or you here to support people who abuse other people?
They are
The
here.
people that you claim to support. It's weird.
They're here to stop conversation that would make
Mhm.
Lauren look bad. That's the only reason they're
Yeah.
here. And Tiger
God
Lily,
forbid She does that all on her own.
Yeah, Tiger. Here's a little bit of information for you, Tiger Lily. It ain't slander if it's true. All right,
Mhm.
you're going to have to get an attorney, Tiger. If you really want to do this and be effective, you're going to need an attorney to tell you what's wrong and what's right. And if what I say or someone else says, if it's
It's my
actually
experience.
true, and I believe
So,
that Kresha lived it. You know what I mean,
yep,
Tiger? I
still
think
living
this
it.
was Kresha's life, and she lived it, and her mother lived it, her family lived it.
We live it
So go on, get out of
currently.
here. Really, that intimidation by those parents, 13,
Please.
12 and a half,
I've
nearly
got
13 hours, Tiger Lily, of their insanity. And you think you're going to be here and scare us? Stop. Go away.
I've
Your
dealt with it
time
for
here is wasted.
years, honey.
That's right. This is
Years,
her
years
life.
without making it public knowledge. Try that while dealing with a freaking 2 murderers of my family, okay? And
But
again, it's just like,
child
whatever.
murder, right? Kids
Child
being
mhm,
brutalized, just all of
yep.
it's just a nightmare. But children, God, it's just
Not
awful.
doctor, not hidden true crime. They do it on their own, honey, and I mean, again, I will love you when you come back. A lot of people are leaving, myself included. I was right there supporting Lauren until I realized that the entire claim, the entire report, the entire stalking hoax was just that. It was a hoax, and Lauren's desperate yet calculated attempt to suppress text messages that contain, and there's evidence out there, my source has even shared that with me, that contain messages that shit talk my family and the victims that they claim that they are advocating for.
Yeah.
So
She
that's what it
really
is.
she went really far during that 9 hour to say that she had to be there for justice for JJ and Charles and Tammy and Tylee, that she had to be there, but she
She wanted
abandoned her own family members. At,
Yeah, she
the
couldn't be with her
minute
dying
I heard,
brother.
yeah, I was just like, okay, you're full of it, Lauren. I'm
Right.
sorry. And I know what, I'm sorry, but you are
Nobody
absolutely
made her
full
to
of
be
it.
there. She had to be there because you heard it here first.
Yeah,
That's my opinion. That's my experience too.
it's, and I think that having a little kid, look, I'm a career person, okay? I work all the
Which
time.
is good. That's why we love you.
Yeah, no, I do. However, if my kid needs something, I'm totally there. It doesn't matter what it is, and it doesn't matter what I have to do to make it happen. I do it, right? And I
Mhm,
think that if you have a small child, I think any career woman who is serious about the work she does, I think
mhm,
she looks and says, okay, I have this small child who's not going to be small forever. And I need to give that child 3 or 4 years where they have contact with me to a reasonable degree. And as
mhm,
they get older, I'll regain my professional freedom to go and travel. You don't pop a baby out and then abandon them. You don't do
mm-mm.
it. You just don't. It's not okay. This is
Attachment
only my
issues.
opinion. Only my opinion.
And I mean, I this is my opinion also as far as, like, if the whole stalking scenario was a hoax. So,
I
what
believe that.
behavior were they describing about their son then? And I've got a good
Yeah.
guess.
What was that? I
That's
was she
mom not being home, in my opinion.
well because
If what they're describing is even accurate as far as, like, the mental health of their child, which they shared, Lauren and John, um, and didn't want law and crime to do it. So, yeah. Okay, so there's that, but if that what they described about their son, who I've met, I have pictures with him. Larry and mom love him to death, okay? But ha if that is true, then it would say, since the stalker story is a hoax and was just Lauren making shit up, John backing it up, whatever it is, I don't know, then something's wrong, and there's mistreatment there, there's a some kind of emotional abuse, neglect, I don't know what it is. Maybe talking about grown up things, like,
Well,
what is
see,
that?
yes, so that was what went through my mind. What went through my mind, there were two things. So first I thought, okay, maybe she's using the problems with her husband and her child as emotional ammunition. That's number
Yeah,
one.
oh,
It's
yeah,
just
and
buzzwords, right? To
wanting to unalive herself too, that is
again,
bullshit, man.
it is horrible because people that are really in
Mhm.
those dark places, they hear that kind of nonsense and it completely wipes out any kind of resolve they have for getting better.
Yes.
So she used a lot of buzzwords.
Mhm.
She used a lot of emotional manipulation, a lot.
That's so bad to
Yep.
me, and it was so telling.
I mean, what do you think that was for her to bring up Charles Vallow? That was because she knows that she built
Sympathy.
her channel on that whole nightmare with your family, and
Mhm.
that would be something that would touch her listeners
Yep.
emotionally.
I've
That's the
watched
only
it so
reason
many
she brought it.
times just with her, but so many others too, where they wrap themselves within the victim story. A lot of these true crime creators, not all, but some do, and they wrap themselves, and do the hypothetical, "I wonder what they were thinking. I wonder what they were
Yeah,
doing. What were"
yeah.
and I'm just like, "What are you doing right now?" I
Mhm.
mean, I understand. There's a thin line, and it's been crossed so many times by Lauren. I've watched. I mean, I'm a family member, so it's like you see this happening, and then, anyways, again, I've seen it with many others too, and that's the trauma vulture thing, and
Yeah.
then slapping merch on it, uh, merch on a shirt, and then capitalizing off of that too.
Well, okay, so Zav Girl, I don't know how much you know about this, but
Yeah, I know about her.
Zav Girl had a really successful true crime channel. It was growing by
Mhm. I
leaps and
watched
bounds,
her.
and it
Mhm.
got destroyed because she took autopsy photos and put them behind a paywall, right?
But
She got
what people failed to acknowledge or call out, was the fact that people like Lauren, like, 10 to Life or whatever serial, Annie Elise, these big channels, they use FOIA docs. I've watched this with Lauren myself, okay, where they put them on a paywall, behind a paywall, Patreon. That was the main lore in the very beginning of my family's case. There were 2 different FOIA requests, well, 3 actually, um, from the FBI, then Chandler, then Gilbert, and they put them behind that paywall, and I mean, really, you can share the link. I have it to share. If anybody ever wants it, you don't have to pay for it. Information is free,
wow.
but they're capitalizing off of it. So whether it's autopsy picture, I mean, I'm gonna say this, they shouldn't have been released from the court that way of a
No,
child, okay?
absolutely,
I'm just gonna
100%.
put it on them right there, but everybody demonizing and I mean, I was in on this too, but I was sharing not in on demonizing, but just calling to the point of, "Hey, yes, but these people are doing it too. Just I mean, where are the photos? They're not gonna tell on themselves. It's this dark underbelly."
Yeah, there were multiple people that got these photos
Mhm.
and put them behind their own paywalls. There were multiple people. It just
To me, it's
that
kinda
got called
protected
out.
that way in a sense, you're not just like, spilling them on Facebook or whatever, like, I do give her credit for at least putting them behind a privacy wall.
Yeah.
However, I am also pointing to the fact that all these other big creators, they're doing it too.
Web Sleuths did it. And
Mhm.
I've never said a crossword about Web Sleuths or anything else,
You're
but I
not, you're just
think
telling the truth.
it
So, there's
I
a big
was
difference.
pretty like I was confused why it was that you had web sleuths with the photos putting them behind a paywall. But then when Zap Girl did the same thing, but a much smaller channel, then somehow it was egregious. And
Shame on her.
Brian Enton threw her under the bus, put her out there. I never would have done it. Like I wouldn't even FOIA. I wouldn't even want to see it. Right. So I'm not passing judgment on someone else, but my point was, look, if you're going to call people out, I think we need to be fair and keep it
good for thee, but yeah, it's that good for thee, not for me. That's what it is. It's like the hypocrisy is so loud. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you know,
Kimberly Porter says there's more. There is the docket, Gray Hughes, and Plunder. So they also had autopsy photos behind a paywall?
I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about the docket.
I don't know. This was a post.
He used to be a friend of mine. If it is the same one,
is that Eric?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a while, but I mean, he's the one that initially gave me. I want to say him and Pretty Lies and Alibis had gone in on the FOIA docs, and then they gave, they allowed me access, but I didn't want to give away something that they privileged me with. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what to do, but like at a certain point in the case, everything dried up. And what I mean by that is that the information became very hard to get and find all of a sudden.
Well,
paywalls is what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I think the courts now, the judges and whatnot, I think they're getting really tired of the true crime community. I think they're being less giving of this documentation. And personally, I think if the victim is a minor, I don't think anything should be released. Nothing. Right. I think that should. They did that in the Chris Watts case. The judge ordered that all of that information be destroyed. So it's
not public interest. Do you really need to know, or do you want to know?
Exactly.
I mean, there's a difference. And the only thing that we can give the dead is their dignity to the best of our ability. Right.
Yes.
So I think that's fair. But then again, I'm on this side of it. So I am a little territorial. So I haven't seen that,
But that's one of the reasons, Cresha, why I'm really glad that you're ready to talk and tell your story. And I think it's horrible that, Lauren Matthias is being so nasty about people that are just simply telling the truth. And I think that now that you're ready to tell it, I think this is something that every single one of us needs to hear. We need to know how this affected you guys, your mom, Larry, Cole, the Tammy's
my brother,
family,
and Annie, like all everybody, right?
Yes, how it affects you guys when we do what we do as true crime creators. So where's the line? How do we have
there is a line, but and I mean, again, I think it's just kind of a case by case basis too. It depends on how a family even approaches public. Do they speak out? Do they grant interviews? Well, kind of like I watched Summer Wells happen, and I'm like, oh my God, what not to do.
It was so horrible. It was so horrible.
Same with Sebastian. What the hell? Like I learned through my experience was that social media, like it was so important for me to, and the rest of my family, we didn't have a group meeting or anything. It just seemed to be just this understanding of Mom and Larry are the face. We're in the background. We'll do whatever the hell they need us to do. Like it's not important for me to go start a channel and put myself out there and then start polluting the communication, right? Because the whole point is when there's a missing person, in my opinion, find them. Where are the kids? Where are the kids? Where are they at? Where's this person? I'm looking for this person. Um, and that should be the end. Like, that's the whole goal. If you're not contributing to how and you're just wanting to be nosy and dig, then that's on you. I'm just saying. Like, do whatever you can to try and help that family member, whomever it is, expedite, finding their missing person. Then I don't know because I've never been on that side, where I'm still looking or anything. And I mean, that's a whole nother level to this. Like, not all cases become, um, what do you call that? High profile, which is
Yeah, and
another interesting thing,
you
right?
have to ask yourself, which is something else that I've really spent a lot of time trying to understand.
Yeah,
Why
good.
is it that some of these cases blow up and become fodder? And why is it that other cases just don't go anywhere? They just die. It
Right.
it's very hard to understand, which is one of the reasons why, Kresha, I was really interested in the idea that Lauren was controlled opposition, or maybe that would be a
Right. Nate
potential.
Eaton too, I believe. I was already
Yes,
looking at that model with Nate, with Frank Vandersloot being a co-owner with Nate of East Idaho News. And so when Lauren happened, and I was already looking into Charlie Kirk, I was looking at Candace Owens from Tim Ballard, okay, because I've been studying that creature since 2020. And I mean, he's part of the same movement as Lori and Chad, as was Jody and Ruby. So it's like all these moving components, and everything is just so crazy and
but
scattered, and they isolate them from one another. The
but you know
public
what?
media. Yeah.
If it's true that there is management of these stories and controlled uh, information, maybe they're blowing the story up. Maybe they're helping to make the story become a sellable item, as
Sensational.
opposed.
Right.
What do you think of
Yeah.
that?
I think that's highly probable, and it's really gross. Just like when Lifetime, do y'all remember that Lifetime movie that came out on our case? And, like, I couldn't even watch it. It was like, but I don't remember if the kids were found yet. That's how early. It was either right after or right before, and it was tacky. It was so, inconsiderate, tone deaf, and it was inaccurate, okay? But they used kinda Kay and Larry, and, they had the Nate Eaton, they had the Melanie Gibb, they had the Melanie Boudreaux, they had the Lori and the Chad, and JJ and Tylee, and I was just like, "What?" I couldn't even make myself watch it. Like, I had turned it on in the background just to
It was
hear it, I guess.
fictional.
It was, but it was like, "No, Lifetime, no.
Yeah,
No, stop it. Like, you're gross." They're
yeah,
right there with the sensationalizing things,
yeah.
you
They
know?
did the same thing with the Chris Watts case. They made so many horrible, dumb, supposed retellings. And anyone
Mhm.
that was on the true crime stuff on YouTube picked out all the mistakes they had in it. And you would think, wow, all you had to do was pick one person out of the true crime community and they could have corrected all of your mistakes. But
And
they didn't
then but
care
then I
about that.
like, maybe their whole thing is, "Okay, but made you look," you know?
Mhm.
Because it's just fictional, right? It's not meant to hurt anybody or anything, or cloud muddy up the water, the narrative, okay? So
Yeah.
it's these kind of things, but, to me, like, my family's case is already full of drama. There are so many
Oh, it's
sensational
horrible.
aspects to it
Yeah.
that you can't afford any drama. Like, there's no room for it. Um, it's
Part of that is
disgusting.
because Lori was so histrionic, right? She everything that she did or talked about, she made it big and huge. So even
Yep,
some of the historical stuff was just stupid.
you heard it here first. Nate was
Yes.
first on the scene, to catch them, and while I was so grateful at that time, but then looking back, I'm like, "Well, of course you were there," what that's how this works.
It's very strange. And
Yeah.
if he wasn't there, if he didn't get that footage of them, the car being towed, and all that, then
Datelines there.
does the
Yeah.
the story keeps just building till it was astronomical, right? So
Yep.
you,
And
you
yeah, that factored in for sure.
yeah. But
The
can I correct
outrage.
something? So there's
Yes.
somebody in the chat called Patricia Smith, 5201. She said Zav Girl published Gannon's autopsy pictures behind a paywall. It was even reported in the mainstream media that she did this, Zav Girl and no one else. You are
Right.
incorrect, Patricia Smith. There were other people, Natasha Cooper,
Yeah.
absolutely,
She's on my thumbnail.
absolutely. She absolutely posted those photos behind a
Because they're
paywall. That is not just because it gets reported on mainstream media, it doesn't mean that it's factually correct.
for real.
So,
That was one of my big takeaways from all this too, was
mhm,
just because you hear it doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean it's
exactly.
all the way vetted out and there's nothing else to see here.
Yep,
So it's a we all are capable of making these same decisions, okay? And we should all be held accountable. We should hold each other accountable. We should not
agreed.
pay into the sensationalism of it because it hurts my family. I don't speak for
Absolutely.
them, but I feel like it does. It hurts me. And it's just in a way though, like this stuff with Lauren and how she did that whole 9-hour expose of herself, she freed me also. I was right there. She looked like she was in distress.
So much
Um,
distress. Yeah.
yeah, but now knowing to what depth, what degree, what level she is going to, not only her, but people I considered my adopted family, which was Megan. Okay. People like Joe who came along that I was like, again, it is what it is. People are going to come and go. All right. Not, I don't plan or expect people to be with me from here till the end of time. That's not how this works. So we're crossing paths. Yay. Nice to know you. Okay. We outgrow each other. Things pop up. It's life. But it's completely fabricated. Therefore,
It was so
they
clear
were
that
okay.
9 hours and then the 3.5 hours, it was just
Yeah.
contrived. It was just BS.
And people wrote declarations and doubled down, tripled down, I mean, they're still doing it. Because to admit otherwise means they're a fucking liar. Okay? So I don't support abusers. I don't support exploiters. I'm not going to. So
Exploitation is the word. That
it's gross.
exploitation is
Right.
100% accurate. Yeah.
That is actually, I've thought about this word for a very long time. Exploit. It's at the center. It's hand in hand with murder, first off. So it's right there. It's at the heart of it too. Because you can't have one, well, you can't have one without the other, but exploit doesn't exist unless there's murder. Um, it's there.
Yeah.
And like even my mom shared that Lauren, okay, so Lauren struck my video and like almost 20-minute window, so it had nothing to do with a freaking screenshot.
It's so crazy. That was the
Not
moment that I was
at
like,
all.
Lauren, are you insane?
Yeah,
What are
it
you
showed.
doing to this
Yeah.
family? God.
In a
And
way,
and
it
and
was
for people to be supporting her after
yeah,
she struck you, your mother telling her story, unbelievable. It's
but I'm
incredible.
jealous. I'm jealous. I'm a raging jealous bitch.
No,
So
no, no.
I'm just saying that's what people how are they reasoning with that? Like, I don't
Well,
understand that.
Lauren may be jealous. Lauren may be jealous because she no longer gets to be part of the crime victim
And
family,
according
right?
to Awen, and this what kind of really got me going down this path quicker, I'll say, is Awen had shared with me at the time there was this Facebook group also called Doomsday Facebook group. And it was a group of women who I really admired. I'm grateful. Grateful is a good word. Um, but this is around that 2021 time, when they were indicted for the murders of Tylee and JJ and Tammy, and then Lori went incompetent. And at that same time, I would go on Reddit and post some things, and I've learned, I'm learning still. I'm gonna continue learning, hopefully till
You're
the day I
doing
die.
great.
But I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna say things. I'm not perfect. I'm not exalted. So it's gonna
You're
happen.
not narcissistic. That helps.
I hope not. Please, y'all check me if I
No,
please
you're not.
continuously check me. I'm not above it, like
No.
that freaks me out really. But
Yeah.
yeah, like how oh yeah. So what Awen told me was that Lauren had basically enlisted this group of women to be my handlers, okay, to keep tabs on me. And then they told me that it was because my mom wanted them to do it. So that right there, that in of itself, okay, is controlled opposition, or that's at least how I was viewed by
That's
Lauren.
insanity.
So
That is
first off, she's not my boss. She's not my mom. She's not anybody that can do that. You cannot control somebody else. You
the
fucking control freak.
audacity.
Okay. That's yeah, I'm sorry. I just got mad. I can't
You
help it.
get
It's
mad,
like,
girl.
oh my
I'm
God.
mad too. That's
Wait, hold on. You just cut out really bad.
so.
Or
So
is it
I
me?
want to make sure. Oh, no, it
Okay,
was
there you are.
me. Am I back?
Yeah, we were skipping.
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
what? What?
Ooh,
What?
weird. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lauren approached your
Look,
friends from Doomsday.
look at Awen's comment right there. You see it? Just me said it too.
Has
Yeah.
to keep crushing in line. Show it. There we go. I was asked to
On
keep
the
crushing
rails? Ooh.
in line and on the rails by women from that Facebook group claiming the request came from Kate. Wow. Hey, when I'm, man, that's terrible.
As my mom's not believing me about, oh my God, I think they're doing up to no good, basically. Because it was, Lori and Lauren, and they were two peas in a pod. John would kind of appear every now and then, obviously pissed off still from years ago, even through his glasses like Lori Daybell does in court. Remember when she didn't get her way and she like chunked
Yeah,
the
oh,
glasses? I've been wanting to see if John, I think he analyzed that. And I want to go back and look at how he analyzed Lori doing that. Compare it, right? But I mean, to me, that's so shitty. And I didn't know. I could feel it because the only time and the only way I could get Lauren to acknowledge me was to send a super chat. And I would do it on purpose.
to force
Like, I'm
her.
not dumb. Like, I'm
Say,
not
no,
sleeping.
Heifer.
Yeah. No, bitch, you're gonna say my name, is what I said, basically. Just being honest.
Wow.
And I mean, I would find her in my comment section sometimes, at that
And
time.
Dr. John didn't notice this particular behavior of basically getting other people to control you. He didn't notice
He either
that.
didn't know or he condones it, just like maybe he doesn't know about what happened or he's condoning it. I mean, if I were making 2.3 or upwards of $2.3 million annually, I probably would. I know I wouldn't do what they're doing, but just saying, it's a lot of money built on pain. My family's pain. That was
I'm
the
blown away.
origin story. So that, and I remember there was a point when I'm like, "Oh, well, oh shit," like I look at social media as a tool. It's an extension of
Yes.
how you can kind of network and work with other people, other platforms, news sources, reporters, okay? Kind of keep them in your back pocket. That way, if you ever need to say something, clear something up, ask for help,
Put
whatever,
information out.
you have an outlet, okay? That's how I look at it. And there was a point in time where hidden true crime just got massive, and I was like, "Well, shit." Like, okay, well, let me start looking at them like, let me just try and swallow all this stuff and just forget about it. And I did. I buried it so far down that it's still trying to come out, I think. and I'm remembering stuff and I'm like, "Oh my god, I remember this, I remember that." Because it was a vulnerable and the worst time in our lives,
And it
okay?
was so public, right? All of
It
y'all's
is,
grief and trauma was just public. Put out
right,
there by who?
right. Well, and, so I was watching another creator who was kinda covering things that Lauren has done, and there was this one video. Of course, I was streaming the trial for Chad at that time myself from home, and I had one of my moderators would show up and everything, and, my main moderator, Donna, who has,
Mhm.
access to the controls, um, she provided me such comfort, in the way of, like, you don't have to be here every morning. It's a lot, because it's like what do they call it? A document dump every day, every single day, trial, and it's just new information, new information, new information to process, and it is very it's like trying to drink out of a fire hydrant, a fire hose,
Yeah, yeah, I can
and
imagine.
it wipes you out. It wiped me out, and so she provided me a place where it would still be streamed for our community, right? But it also, like, I wouldn't have to be there to do, like, I could come in, or just what if I was absolutely wiped out that day, and, I mean, no harm, no foul, and, I mean, I can't thank her enough. I can't thank my mods enough,
Amazing.
um, because it becomes too much,
And
but you
I do
wanna be
think
there. I did.
but I do think that you realize too that you do have to take a break for
Yeah.
the real world to sort of bring you back
Mhm.
down, like to
My
touch your
kids,
feet to the ground.
my
Your
man,
kids.
yeah, like, life is still
Yeah.
happening, and
Wow. That is I'm blown. Boy, you blew my mind with the whole doomsday w-
yeah.
control. That is such deviant behavior. That was such a deviant, that was just so
Who is she?
um
Who does she think she is? That's a control freak if I've never seen one. I
no,
look, I
I think
cannot
it's
give
clinical.
diagnoses and stuff, and that's not one anyways, nor can I give one over the internet. I'm not credentialed, but I'm just saying from my experience, that is psycho.
It is psycho. To believe, to have number one part of it, to believe that you have the authority to keep tabs on another human being that's not your child, and to
Mhm.
control the messaging that they're receiving or
And
giving.
then say it's from my mama? Are you
Yeah.
serious?
And
Like, oh, that
which
is so
then
awful.
that particular, what you've just described, that particular
Triangulation.
dynamic, that is 100% personality disorder. And frankly, I'm shocked that Dr. John didn't recognize it as such. And for
Well,
him to even put his mark of approval on it, Jesus.
isn't he a mandatory reporter? Oh, you mean on the controlling me, or allegedly,
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah, that he would that okay, so the very specific process of a person saying, "Oh, I'm gonna need to keep tabs on Kresha and keep
He's the
her
problem
on,
child, yeah.
she's the problem child, and so I'm gonna use all these other people that
Mind
Kresha,
monkey.
trusts and believes in.
Mm,
I'm gonna manipulate them to believe
so
they're looking over Kresha to keep safeguard her and to keep her quiet. And we'll do that by telling them that Kay, the person's
mhm.
mother, wanted this. The
Another
level
victim.
of the
Yeah.
level of disordered thinking there
Entitlement?
is it,
Or
it's insanity. It's
is that
craziness.
entitlement? What is that?
It's
Delu I can't even
you're dividing alliances. It's a tactic that is
triangulation?
used, yeah, it's a tactic that's used by, especially you see it a lot with narcissistic personality disorder,
Huh.
antisocial personality disorder
Okay.
too. But you divide, and then you discard or diminish, right?
Mm,
So
yeah, and I
it
totally
actually
felt that.
drove a wedge in between you and Kay, without you
Mhm.
guys even knowing it was happening. Y'all didn't
Right.
even know, not
Mm-mm.
to mention what it did with Awen, right? Because
Right.
she was sucked into the madness too. So
Mhm.
no, that's a kind of tactic that people just would say, "Are you crazy? No, I'm not going to do that. That's nuts." Yeah.
If we
So
were aware of it,
if you
and
were
maybe
aware,
to
yeah.
what level were people aware of the hidden motives, so to speak?
And the
That is
truth
so
is, lots of
evil,
people
man.
care about your family and they care very much for Kay. And if it, Lauren would have known, hey, if we say that Kay wants this, they will want to help,
Yep.
right?
Oh, yeah,
So,
Colby, "We wanna adopt you, Colby." I mean, what, 4 days after she did her 9-hour diatribe, okay, they interviewed Colby
horrible, was
again,
so inappropriate.
and
And
I forgot about
he
that till yesterday, and I was like, "I still need to go back and watch it because that's bullshit." That is so
oh,
gross.
so
Double
inappropriate.
it's like a public, "Hey, Colby trusts us." None of
Yes.
those text
Yes.
messages that are being suppressed by Christina, my stalker, could be true.
You can trust us without us having to earn it or prove anything to you guys. You can trust us because Colby likes us. Colby trusts us. Kay
Mhm.
trusts us. Kresha trusts.
Well, and that's after striking my video down on YouTube and then days later also doing it on Facebook.
I
So,
didn't know about
one
this.
could say she effectively
Silenced you.
silenced me and mom and Awen,
Yeah.
dissenters,
And it's
critics, as you would see.
unforgivable. It's
Yeah,
unforgivable.
the very people she's claiming to help.
Unforgivable.
Like, that was kinda worth it to me, like, if I never got that video back, then I'm like, "Oh, well." It really showed her true colors on top of it already, like, as we're still trying to figure out what was going on with the whole stalking, hoax, okay? So it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, but it's she's done the damage is done. She divided a community, unfortunately, it really sucks, but it's not to be wrong or right, not from where I am, not the people that I have within my like, the people that I go and visit, like, different creators. The people in chat are my kinda people, you know? We're not
Me too.
judgy,
I always say
we're
that.
not
I'm a
right or wrong.
subscriber. I'm not a creator. I'm a subscriber.
Somebody, is an ex-gym, right? We're like, "All right, hey, we don't care. We just care that you're here, and that's all that matters, okay?" It's
Yes.
not about shaming anybody. It is what it is. Manipulation happens all the time. Um, right? It's gonna happen again. So
But
it's
this
like,
is different. I'm sorry, Kresha, but this thing with your
that's true.
family, it rose to a completely different level. A
It's
complete
like, it's voluminous, I'll say. I'll use one of Lindsay Blake's words.
when you intentionally befriend a family that has been so traumatized by multiple deaths, right? Manipulation through the years. When you are intentionally befriending them so that you get the inside scoop. First one, oh, we bring it here. We're the ones. Come here if you want to know
Mhm.
anything about it. That is insidious. That is dark. And I don't care what you say, Lauren. It's dark, sister. It's
You're
you're being
wrong.
it's so wrong. You are taking the
Wrong.
pain and trauma of other people and you are slapping a price tag on it, Lauren. You're not
Trauma
telling
fence.
a story. You're not being a journalist. You made yourself a story when you struck Precious Channel. And that is why you're losing subs.
When
Ugh.
you compared yourself to my dead family members also.
Oh, saying that you understood how Charles felt. The hell you did, lady. You hadn't got Christina wasn't even a real stalker. You
Yeah, go
built
back to
all
the
that up
beginning
in
of
your own mind.
the case. Go
So
back because you don't get it, sister. Like,
yes, yes.
you know what? She wholeheartedly believes in her church, whether she believes in God or not. That's whatever. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care what anybody believes, and I say that not to be like, I don't care, but it is believe what you want to believe. But Lori and Chad's belief system killed my family. It labeled my family. It actually marked my mom to be dead. whenever.
Yeah. Yeah.
She got a zombie name, Rhonda, whatever, and everything. Like the next, I mean, Chad was already going to work spiritually on her, you know, and
What was
that
her
messes
name
with the
according to
whole nother
Chad?
way. Rhonda. She was like, "Why Rhonda, man?" I'm
That's
like, "I don't know.
bizarre. That
It
is so
is.
crazy.
Welcome to this world." It's very, very
Well,
weird.
yeah. So I had this idea, possibility that maybe Lauren just over identified with you guys, that she just got so deep into the story that she fancied herself to be a part of the family. And of course, with the resolutions of the trials, and both of them in prison forever, then she's kind of left with no identity now, because she didn't get her identity from her own family. Her identity was coming from being a crime victim, which she never was a crime victim. So she almost kind of like invented a crime instead of
Mhm.
going, no, I acted ugly, I acted hateful, I mistreated all these young women that are now coming for me, and I got to pay
Mhm.
my dues, which was really,
Legally.
that was really the best approach. But to say, oh, I know what I'll do, I'll
That's a
use these poor family members to try to confuse people like Megan and Trisha. It's crazy.
Yep. And to present yourself as a vault, as a somewhere, a safe place for my parents to go, Colby to go, and then
Not,
you're gonna talk shit about us, and we still have to
yeah,
wait on that.
yeah,
That
not.
is some level of, I don't even know what that is yet. I'm not there yet.
And
So,
she told the absolute truth, right? This is not a misstep, a bad decision. 100% fact. When she struck your channel, where you and Awen and Kay were telling your stories, your
mhm,
stories, not telling the
not her.
story that they wanted her to tell, right?
Not the one
But
that's been not told, yeah, hidden.
exactly. The reality of what your experience was, not what Lori did, but your
Mhm.
experience, Kay's experience, what it was like in the aftermath.
Yep,
Why in the world would she strike those stories if what she really wants is healing? Because when
exactly.
crime victims get to a point, or trauma victims get to a point that they're ready to tell their story, it's so healing. Like, you need to
Yes,
have that.
and that's
And
been able to finally start taking place since she exposed
there you
herself,
go.
and then I
There you
started to
go.
catch on, and then I was like, "Oh my god." And so, it kinda had died out, or was, dwindling, and I was
It
like,
was
"Oh,
getting
no, no,
quiet.
no, it's not done," you know? And again, like, I shared what my source shared with me last night, and I condensed it down. I just need to publish it. Um, so, nobody has to weed through a freaking my long ass lives now for some reason. I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, but you've
It's
got
not
great
on
lives.
purpose.
You've got great ones.
I mean, I didn't wanna, like, jump over Stephanie's story, because I don't wanna take
Mhm,
her story away. That's her time.
mhm.
And, but anyway, so towards the end, then I was trying to make sure that I've alerted Colby before I did, because it's about him too.
It is
And
100%.
being in this arena, that's one thing that we could not control, is anything that happened, anything that came out, all the information, blah, blah, blah. But you can control how you react, right? That's the only thing I have control over. Like, I can just control whether I entertain something, um, if I can see that something's coming out and I'm just like, "Oh, I don't wanna watch that." But, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't think I've had that. That's something that I've not been able to do, or I didn't really have a desire to do, was control the information. I wanted to consume the information, get through it, and then my whole unrealistic idea was to, if I can learn it, then my mom and my family don't have to, which was
yeah,
stupid,
yeah.
unrealistic. But that was kinda my whole thing with diving more and more into the church and its distorted history, and how that intertwines perfectly with what Chad and Lori did, and others. But I don't see Ravina as being blocked, little brands. Just letting you know. Okay.
Well, I've I've stepped back from the whole true crime stuff because I'm trying to rethink this whole thing. Look, I agree that people have curiosity about others that goes so wrong that they commit these heinous, horrific crimes, like the whole
Mhm.
Chris Watts thing, right?
Yep.
So I do think there's utility in responsible discussion about these things,
Mhm.
but it's a whole different ball game when you're befriending family members, or even
Mhm.
worse, befriending the criminal itself. That whole
Yep.
story about one of Annie Elise's mod or
That's what I released in my last night. Yeah.
to so who was the one? Was it Grayson or was it
It was
another?
well, I don't wanna share.
Oh,
No,
oh,
it
no,
was,
no, no. If you have, okay,
because I
don't.
don't wanna just say a name and then people not know the
Yes.
context.
Okay, but you're
That's
going to
really
do a video that's got all that, right?
yeah, it's actually on, you can go see it at the very end of my live, towards the end of my live from yesterday.
Very
Um,
good.
but I went ahead and edited that down, and all I have to do now is upload it. That's what I was working on whenever,
Oh,
I
I'm
found saw on Jay's channel where Christina was there finally. That's the first time I've seen her, heard from her, anything, since any time. I don't know her, first off, but
yeah.
to know that, people are catching on and we see you. We see you're not hidden, okay, Lauren,
Yes.
because you revealed yourself. Your mask fell
Yeah.
off, and then your husband's mask fell off, in my opinion,
Yep. Yep.
and you only have yourself to blame. So
Right.
don't treat people this way. Don't think that you did nothing wrong, and don't try to vilify or incite, online, bullying to do the bidding for you with a
Thank
whole
you. Well
chick
said.
that you framed a whole 9-hour live, your whole story. You went and gathered evidence. You went and created evidence, so to speak. You got people to do it with you and for you. You got you clogged up the judicial system. You clogged up true crime. You've distorted it, but you've also exposed it. And you've also removed your big shade from over me, and it's been the
Mhm.
most freeing thing, so I kinda thank you.
I'm so glad. I'm
You
so
know?
glad.
Not you're not my savior, is what I'm saying, Lauren, you're not my savior. Like,
Yeah.
how can somebody know what's oppressing them, you know? I
Yeah.
didn't I would've never thought of that, but that is so gross and
Sure.
even more contrived
Yeah,
than any
Lauren,
could
I
have
hate to tell
imagined.
you this, and frankly, your husband should be telling you this. You did
Mhm.
nothing to bring justice to JJ and Tylee and Charles and Tammy. You didn't do anything. You
Mhm.
meddled. That's what you did. You meddled to try to get your story, to build your fortune, to build your mansion. That's what you
Because
did.
you felt muted, because I mean, that's how I felt. I felt invisible. And I mean, it makes sense now. Like, it's not just me being too emotional or,
Oh, no.
whatever. And because I
No.
mean, that's a mind screw, okay? That really
Thousands of
did
people
a
see
number on
you,
me.
Trisha.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, for a long time, for years, 4 years, 5 years, I felt invisible.
It was
Like,
being controlled.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
And that is the shittiest feeling. And I mean, again, I don't wish it on her or anybody, like, that is to feel invisible is like that's pretty
Well,
lonely. It's very
I
lonely.
I really think that you need to really be clear about what I'm about to say. And that
Okay.
is you didn't do anything. Whatever happens with Lauren Matthias and her channel, you didn't, you had nothing to do with that. You, your mom, Colby, Tammy's family, You guys lived something that is extraordinary that no one else could ever even understand. You are entitled to tell your story, to talk about your experience. I don't mean just what Lori did. I mean the aftermath, the process of healing, the way people treated you, what they wanted from you.
Yeah.
Those things belong to y'all, and you have the right to talk about it in public, in private, however you want to do it, as long as what you're saying is factual, right? If it's the
Yep.
truth.
Mhm.
She, Lauren Matthias, John Matthias, 100% wrong to try and take ownership of your story, even to
2.
the point of the photographs that were gifted
There
were
no, no,
then
no.
treated.
No, not all. I mean, for sure. I mean, I can go around and take screenshots, right? But no, I mean, not fully. So, but they didn't originate with her, and she knows that. And
So I
that's
was,
what my appeal was based on.
yeah. So they're not her photos. She didn't get her camera out and take a picture of JJ and Tylee. The
Mm-mm.
They were, my understanding was is that maybe Kay gave them to her for a story or something. Is that
Maybe
wrong?
some, but not
Maybe I'm
all. There
wrong.
were videos, and I mean, I'm just saying, same thing with, how Netflix tried to strike me down, Sins of Our Mother or whatever, for my JJ video the bus video with him and
Jesus.
Papa. And I was like, "Oh my god." And I mean, I've been thinking about this from the beginning, worried about it, like, what happens whenever Dateline is using your stuff, and then now they own it, It's like, "What?" It's very and I want to get into this area and do some kind of advocacy there too because it needs it.
And
As far as copyright.
I think that is a super interesting area to look into. Like if your family are victims of crime and then suddenly
Mhm.
the news is using your pictures,
Yep.
can you do a copyright strike? That is very interesting, isn't it?
I mean, and just, creators, and I mean, we have to do it responsibly, And I mean, I'm not saying I haven't grabbed pictures that I don't own. I'm just saying, it's just a big learning lesson. I'm sure I'll learn more when I dive deeper into it, but
Yeah.
it's just been one of those things where where's the line and when's crossing the line
And that's
and
where
when
I'm
is
at
it
right now.
exploiting.
Yeah. Where's the line?
Mhm.
How do we do this? How do we have these conversations that
Yeah.
people want to have? They want to
Mhm.
discuss and talk about these things that happen, but how far is too far?
How do we
For ex-
know unless it's ever even brought into our perception? Like some things haven't been discussed because they're unknown.
and they should
Yeah.
remain unknown. That's the family's
Yeah.
business. But
Mhm. Yeah. Some things.
ha- so I think for me, okay, so I got chastised pretty heavily. I think it might have been the Goncalves, maybe the sister or the dad or of Kaylee Goncalves. It's just a guess on my part. I don't know that that's who it was. However, I did a video about Brian Koberger and his parallel to Ted Bundy.
Mhm.
And it was one of those kind of academic dives. I don't often do them on my channel, but for that one in particular I did. And I was chastised by a comment that was left that was saying, congratulations, you've made him famous, that's what he wanted, why don't you use your channel to talk about Kaylee and the other victims? And there's a very real reason, and I'll tell you why it is. I don't talk about the victims because it feels like exploitation. It feels like they're entitled to their privacy, right? They're entitled.
Right.
I don't have the right to dig into Kaylee Goncalves' life and talk about her like I knew her. That's the interest is, how did this guy go so off the rails that he's literally seems to have modeled himself after Ted Bundy, one of the most notorious murderers in the world.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that is a line that I don't know about. I just don't know. I don't know. Should our channels be focusing on victims? Is it better to focus on the actual criminal, their personality factors? I don't know. And that's why
I
I'm
think
not really
it
doing it right now.
well, and I mean, again, I think it's more, uh, it depends on and it's a case by case basis, people in my family or in other sides of the family, in of our case, we all have different ways, different experiences, period, different outlook, and so one way that they can help you and help others know that is to create a channel or create something for people to kinda go off of, you
That
know?
would probably help. Yeah, because then at
Yeah.
least you'd be getting information from the actual people that should be
It could have
controlling
been a
the
bad
narrative.
day, you never know. It could just
Mhm.
be one of those things where you get triggered, but I find a good balance between not just focusing all on the perps, but also balancing and factoring in the reality for the victims, giving
Mm.
them a voice too in the same video or same topic or, just not there just to focus exactly, exclusively on the crime itself, but also or
Yeah.
the perpetrator, but also, um, I guess giving the victims their flowers. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
I'm out of words all of a sudden.
See, even you being a part of a horrible, very sensational set of crimes, y- you see that uncertain line, yeah, you want
Does
to
it make
honor
sense?
the victims,
Yeah,
but you don't
honor,
want to
there you go.
pry, right? You don't want to meddle,
Mhm.
and
I
so
don't wanna exploit them, but I just know how it's felt to me when I've visited so many channels because it's been so important for me personally, not everybody, but personally, to go and find every person that I mean, from small creators to the largest to, big media, okay? I want to know how they tell the story, and I learn something from different people's perspectives that help me to kind of learn new things, see it a different way, try to be more balanced. Um, and the ones that have gripped me the most are the ones that I didn't expect them to give such a voice to my family, the victims, the ones at the
yes,
heart of this. I mean, there was one time when I've dropped to my knees because I was like, "Oh my god." It was so compelling to me, and it meant so much, and I cried, but they were tears of joy
yeah,
and proud and loss and just the grief, right?
yeah, yeah.
And just humanizing them. That's the most important thing for
I mean,
everybody, you know?
that's another critical part too, right? That
Yeah,
the stories
huge.
get told, retold, 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 and it's like the victims, they just become an object instead of a
Right.
living, breathing person, right?
And they were so dehumanized in life, especially by Chad and Lori, that
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's like that was one of the main reasons I shared even just the very few videos or, the videos I did have that were home videos, of them. Again, I didn't have any of Tylee, but I mean, it doesn't mean I don't love her. It doesn't mean that I don't care. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means I don't have that. So I wanna do and give as much of a voice, and I wanna humanize them as much. In the very beginning, there were people coming to my channel, watching the little home videos, seeing JJ walking, talking, having his own personality, and they were like, "Oh my god, he can talk, he can walk, he can do that," and I'm like, "What?" Like, that's how bad the dehumanization was that they got from what was being told by Melanie Gibb, you know,
yeah.
about
Melody made it seem like
dumbing
he
him
was
down.
nonverbal.
Right. Like,
Yep.
he was just totally incapable of and then with Tylee too, so it's just that to me pissed me off, okay? And I'm like, "Yes, he can walk, he can talk, he's intelligent, he's a savant," like, he's so
Yeah.
intelligent.
Yeah.
but he also had a very rocky home, just like Tylee, and a mother who, yeah, we know how she turned out. But anyways, they didn't have a chance. They were poor things. And I mean, again, it sucks because you find all this stuff out after the fact, and it's like,
After.
ugh.
Yeah.
So with that said, I just want to reemphasize that I just hope that Lauren and John can do whatever it is they have to do. All this stuff second, but your child, he's first. Please take care of
Absolutely.
him.
Absolutely.
Please.
Yes. Well said.
I'm worried.
Well, so I know we talked about this way back when our conversation started, but here's something that I think needs to be said again, because it's absolutely true and important. And it's this: Lauren, if your child knows about these women online that are unhappy with you, it's because someone's telling him. He's not old enough to go out there and find it on his own. Mm-hmm. So maybe share less about adult themes with your small children and keep them protected. That's my opinion. All right.
And that's the heart of the story right now. Like, that's the only, to me, that's one way that you can honor the memories of Tylee and JJ, just by being a better parent to your child. Okay.
There you go. There you go. Say it again, Krista, one more time for people that weren't listening.
The best way to honor Tylee and JJ is just to appreciate your own child, to be a better parent, to be a better role model to a child in your life. Okay. That's the best way that you can honor their memories.
Perfect. Yeah. So
it makes me want to cry. Sorry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Children lack the capacity to understand these fully deep emotional themes. The idea that a mother would tell their child that she was being stalked and in danger. Where's your mother instinct? You don't do that. You protect your children. And that includes protecting information. Sometimes you do keep kids in the dark because it's healthier that way.
Hey, I've learned the same with my own, just by the stuff that I consume about this case that they're connected to as well, because this is their family too. So it's just like, oh, I mean, when Ruby Frankie and all that stuff happened, with the abuse of her kids, and to see the exploit that was going on, it taught me lessons about, I don't want to put my bonus kids on there. And, my daughter's old enough now, but my bonus sons, I'm not their mother. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't have that right. Whereas people like Netflix used the video, didn't ask for the video of them on the bus, but then there's my little bonus son digging in his nose, and I'm just like, okay, don't blur his face out, blur my daughter's face out of some of these photos.
Yes.
That's one thing we can do to be more responsible, not only parents, but just content creators. I was first. This is my family first. And then I had to become I say I had to. I didn't have to. I chose to become a content creator, so to speak. But that's just, they're my business. They're my business. That's what my whole thing, my whole existence here is around them. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not a YouTuber, but
you are now, unfortunately.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I know more and more people who are intentionally keeping their children photographs off of Facebook and other social medias. Yeah, because we've learned they're not going to let us control our own photographs.
Learn from other people's mistakes, man. It's my favorite thing to do. I'm like, no, thank you, girl.
That's right.
Because that's what it's all about, right?
Yep, totally.
Yeah. So. Like, A1 said that, where is it? Oh, if Lauren is telling her son, she's a shit parent. If Lauren is lying about her son, knowing and his reaction, she's a shit parent.
Thank you. Well said. Okay. Perfectly well said.
My mama, she was an old coon-ass Louisiana woman, okay? And she would always have these little, not wives' tales, but just these good advice is what I call it. And she'd say, "Girl, sweep around your porch first. You better
Boom.
make sure your porch is clean. You gotta go
Yeah,
sweep." I'm like, "What you
that's
doing,
exactly
broom?"
right.
Every new broom sweeps good, Cresha. And I'm like, "What does that even mean?" That means
Yeah,
just because you bring a new guy around, they all great in the beginning. That's what she's
that's
telling me.
right. Yep.
But smart lady. But I appreciate you
Well,
taking the time out.
no, you're great. Thank you so much for popping in last minute, and it's just always so interesting to talk to you. And
Same.
I
We got to talk more on that mind control stuff because, I
we
mean,
do. We kind of came together not so much because of the nightmare that you guys lived together, but because there was that realization that we were both thinking, who gave
uh-oh.
Chad and Lori permission? Like, who empowered them to do this?
Yeah.
And look at
And
where
how
it's led
come?
you.
Yeah, because I've seen it. It's more mainstream. It's really wide, far and wide. And so it's not that
Amazing.
Chad and Lori have people are so worried about them having followers. That's not it. They
Yeah.
have fellow believers is
Yes.
what it is. And
There,
so they
I
became the
believe
scapegoat.
people higher than them.
Oh God, yes.
Yep.
I found it in the Hamlin case, where they put red or black marks next to the generational people. Same thing. It's the same thing over and over again, but we're never revealed or told the entire story. And they like the way that, and I say they as in opposition. Okay, people who have that interest in it. Okay, who want to protect that portion of it. They just blame it on Lori and Chad and Alex and that weird cult, right? It's just a weird cult, one
Yeah,
off,
it was so
isolated.
limiting, wasn't it?
Then it dies right there. Okay. But the reality of it is that these ideas, Tom Harrison is just one of the catalysts who wrote a book about it, who spreads the same like minded belief system. Julie Rowe, Chad David was one of them already too. There's prophets that share the same idea who have personal visitations with Jesus allegedly, which is just code word. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
saying that's all
Yeah.
this is. And they depend and rely on that being enough to shut me up or shut you up or stop questioning. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop digging. Quit being a digger. We shut those down.
Yep.
Keep them in the rails, on the rails. So,
Well,
which is interesting that Awen said the rails, and I forgot that she had said that initially. Um, whenever she popped back on the scene, I was so glad, by the way. Still
yes.
am. Um, but Ruby Rails doctrine was something that I found a long time ago, and it was like this coded anyways, it was just a bunch of coded language like computer talk. But it was called the Ruby Rail doctrine. And I'm like, they're talking about polygamy. And I mean, basically, you can kind of read it. That's what our whole world is based off this now.
Yeah.
Coding, and people still can't say or be comfortable with or understand that people do talk in code. I mean, it's been around since we could, I think.
Yeah.
um, we do it in front of our kids. We're like, yeah, we talk in pig Latin, or whatever. I'm just saying.
I think one of the things though that's unnerving for me about the Mormon church. Now, in the beginning, when all this first happened, the kids were missing, and if I tried to talk on the Mormon church, my chat would be filled with people that were
Shut
very
down.
aggressive, right?
They're
Shutting
now called
down.
hidden gems is what they're called.
Oh,
Okay. I no, that I'm telling you, that comes with the culture territory for real. Even if you're
well,
ex-Mormon and you're not you haven't dispelled that system yet and got out of that gossipy in speak. Mm-mm.
well, the white salamander letter they killed to try to stop that conversation from happening.
And would you know that it's a frog and not a
It
salamander?
wasn't a salamander, it was a frog.
It's
I
really a
would
frog.
doesn't surprise me, not a
I'm
bit.
just saying, it's like, and that, Joseph Smith, his roots go back to Salem, Massachusetts. I'm just
Oh
saying,
my
and he
God, you can't
practiced
make it up.
magic. He practiced dark
Magic.
dark stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing
I
Chad
mean,
was doing.
that what
So
Chad
it's
was
not a
doing?
far stretch, huh?
That's what Chad was doing, was essentially magic, black magic.
Precisely. So, you know, it is what it is, but people will freaking cut you. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But here's one of the things that really unnerves me about the Mormon church specifically. Well,
Mhm.
first of all, the money. Like they're sitting on a
Oh,
fortune
man.
that is shocking at best.
Almost a trillion,
It's incredible, really. Why
allegedly.
aren't you
As far as
using
what
that
we
money for
know.
good
Yeah.
deeds, right?
Mhm.
But what really, really unnerves me is this very wealthy religion being so interconnected with the political system. That is
Because
it's
it comes its roots, its origin was built on a theological I'm sorry, a theocratic government,
yeah, but
church and
you don't
state.
see the Methodist Foundation. The Methodist Foundation doesn't have that sway. The Baptist,
Mhm.
well,
Right.
maybe the Baptist a little
I
bit.
haven't and see, I haven't been able to look into the different ones yet, but because, the way that it looks like over here is the goal, like Chad and Lori, is to usher in the new world order or, uh, one world,
Absolutely.
whatever, and it's biblical, right? So, it's not gonna matter who believes what or who's in this category, who belongs to this religion because the goal is to become one. So the Seven Mountain Mandate, the this 912ers, they Jason Mao's entire The War Chapter series, that's what this is. The ideas are to militarize, to create the DesNat type, Deseret Nation type, and combined with Elder Ballard's talk back in 2007 at a graduation ceremony in Hawaii, at BYU, Hawaii. He implored the congregation, the young generation of that time, the graduates, to take to the new social media and use these tools and don't let people define what you believe. So that is
Mhm.
why you see what you see, and you get inundated with all these believers who will defend the church till the bitter end, okay?
Like no thought, right? No,
It's
like the
inciting, just like what Lauren did with her fake ass stalker. She called her a stalker. She incited, in my opinion, 10,000 people were also with me in that chat for that 9-hour
Mhm,
live stream,
mhm.
up to 12,000.
I was there.
She armed us
Yeah.
with a fake story and everybody did. A lot of people did go and try to bully up on that is so another whole 'nother layer to this thing, okay? Not only
Yeah.
did she try to imprison, an innocent woman, um,
Someone
and
who
have her
had
pay
100 subscribers. People
3.
seem to
I think
overlook
300
that.
I've heard.
When it
Still.
started, when
Oh.
she first started the 9-hour live, because as soon as there
Mhm.
was enough information that I could go look to see who she was talking
Yeah,
about, 100, just a little over 100. By the end of that live, it was up to 300.
yeah, okay.
So yeah, Lauren
I'm up
empowered her.
4,700.
Woo,
I'm just
you
saying.
go, Tasha. Good
Right.
deal. Good, 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 good.
But I do appreciate everybody who is new and everybody, not just new, but everybody coming in, you're more than welcome here. Glad to have you. No matter how we found each other, we did. So that's all
Yes,
that
that's
matters.
all that matters. That's exactly right. Yep, it's all that
Yeah.
matters.
I love rocks too.
Um, okay, well, Krisha, thank you for popping in here. And Mr. E. Ed is here. Hey, Mr. E, how are you doing? Um, Thank you so much. I it's I mean, we could
So,
keep talking about
I
this
know.
for
I
another
know.
3 hours, right? It's just
And
it's
then people are like, "Well, how are you any different?" Well,
oh
first off, we're not talking about me and we're not creating a narrative. We're also not inciting the internet. We are not
it's
you
your
know,
story
and
too.
It is my
you're
story too.
entitled.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are entitled to talk and speak for your family for sure. Um,
Oh,
but I
thank you,
also
Helen.
think, there's another way it's quite different, I think. You and I made friends a long time ago, years ago,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
I didn't ask you questions about JJ and Tylee and hound
Mm-mm.
you to reveal your personal relationships. We found a connection through the interest in who was above Chad and Lori, like
Right.
who empowered them and gave them the confidence to behave in a monstrous way all the way around.
This
Uh,
is whenever a journalist would come in handy.
sure, absolutely.
And so that's what I'm saying there. She did just enough, in my opinion, to curb public curiosity,
Yep.
and then dropped it right there and did no
And
further because I've found
did
so
you
many things out.
ever hear her talk about that notion about Jason Mao, Melanie Gibb, that there may have been more
I was
culpability?
I was so leery of her but I would also I would every now and then I would send her via, Facebook Messenger or something, or I did get her number at one point in Idaho, but rarely, but then I'm like, I guess some days I'd just be like, well, I mean, come on, here, I need help. I
Yeah.
can't do this alone. Here, let's uncover this shit. Here's Tim Mallett. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Mhm.
She started to, and she did some, but that was it. Just enough. Um,
I wonder.
so again, she could have used her powers to really, really uncover this and bring some light into it. But
Yeah,
again,
the
if
connections
you're
to
close to
mainstream
these
media.
people, I've been messaged and told, I mean, again, this is just hearsay, but that she's family friends with Mitt Romney. So, Lauren, allegedly.
There's that connection to the government. Makes me
And
nervous.
she has the friend who did the campaigns for Romney. And guess who also backed Romney was Frank Vandersloot. Guess who owns East Idaho News? Frank Vandersloot. Guess who who tried to do I mean, he
So
admitted it.
East Idaho News endorsed Mitt Romney.
I mean, well, the owner of East Idaho News, the billionaire, the Mormon billionaire from Idaho
Yeah,
Falls, right
yeah.
there, right outside of Rexburg, who's Mormon.
Oh,
Oh, it's
wow.
a fucking mess. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cuss, but it is. It's scary.
It is
It's
scary. I think it's
intimidating.
scary. I think it's scary because the churches know how to manipulate people. They know how to change people's thoughts and mold them to do what they want them to do in every bit the same way that Jody was doing to the kids or to the people that were
Mhm.
referred to her by the church. It and in reality, a psychologist goes through training. You got about 2 years where you're being held accountable that even though you have this information, that you're not going to use it to hurt people. You're not going to intentionally manipulate people, right?
Yeah.
And there you've got a $1 trillion entity that's obviously hiring people to do exactly that. It's really
Yeah.
scary.
It's government. And I mean, it's higher up. And it's just, yeah. It's a whole monster all of its own. It's
It
like,
is.
but I mean, it comes from the top. It does.
Yeah, but no way will anybody ever convince me that Chad and Lori and the seven gatherers that they did all that right there on their own brain power is no
In
way.
front of
They were
everybody.
they felt safe doing it. They were
Mhm.
audacious in the way they did it.
Sitting in church temple parking lots, waiting for the next murder.
Yep,
Uh,
it's
yeah,
crazy. It's
just
just insanity.
just another
Yep.
day. Just
Yep.
another day in the
So,
park.
well, you are awesome. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in and
you, Janice.
chatting. And so to be clear, can you tell everybody the video for them to go watch where they can see the discussion that you had about
Okay, let me grab because I think you have me where I can share my link here.
you should be
Um,
able to, yes.
So I'm gonna grab the link to the video from last night
Okay.
and until I get the other one published. And so all you'll have to do once I grab it, get shareable link. Okay. Once I upload it, then, it'll be just a condensed version of it where you don't have to wade through all this stuff. But at the very end of it, I share because my source gave me a bunch of like disjointed information. I had to like run it through my chat GPT to kind of help me protect myself and protect my source.
Yeah.
And put it into some kind of, you know, easier language. Anyway, so I shared it at the very end of my live stream last night. I just shared, there it is. Yep. And it's just another disgusting layer of things that have gone on. And I trust my source. I'll never give my source up. No retaliation. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody. So the link to the video is on Crush's channel. That's the link. I hope everybody will go over and watch the amazing information. And I want to thank Nana Flower Power. Thank you so much. And I'm having a hard time reading this. Yep. Boy, I do not like these so-called updates that they've done.
I know. I haven't had that problem you had or like Nonsense had. I'm like, oh no, I don't want that problem.
Oh, well, I wasn't alone then. Nonsense also had some trouble.
Yeah. With the layout. Oh, I think Aiden did too with the layouts and stuff, right?
I've got to play with that. If you figure it out, let me know because my camera was like, hell no, we're not doing this. So, Nikki, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Nikki said, hold on.
Thank you,
Presca, you need to look at nihilistic extremist group 764. Very interesting. Yeah.
I've seen that word nihilistic and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Again, it's just one of those, it's another term. It's another thing I got to go learn. And it gets overwhelming, but I definitely want to know what that means. And I will.
It's like death is the ultimate end kind of idea. That's what nihilism is. So
just like the necromancy is at the heart of all this stuff, y'all. It is crazy.
Absolutely.
It is. Thank you, mods.
And also, Bite My Bits. Thank you. Bite My Bits said, Lauren says, I get labeled dark. Could she have personality disorder that's making her point? She's actually conflating their circumstances with her real life. I'm not going to say someone has any kind of specific diagnosis or anything like that, but I think that it seems like she was very interested in taking ownership of the story. For example, saying that she needed to be there to get justice for JJ and Tylee.
Martyr.
She did that. She martyred herself, basically. Yep. And, I'm not going to say it was done intentionally or that it was done from a delusional space, but it wasn't okay. It wasn't healthy. And I think that her identity, she's struggling now that the cases, the trials have happened. And I think she's struggling now. She doesn't know where she fits in. She doesn't know her role, I think.
Right. And that's another thing to do with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and how they're patriarchal and how the women are just basically, they have their roles and it's not to be the one that's looked up to for all the answers. Okay. That's the guy's job. The mom is to take care of the kids and create spirit babies. So that's why they have that. They all me, you know?
It is, and I can't take that voice.
Keep sweet, pray and obey. Yeah.
Be sweet, ladies. No, thank you. I'm like, what's that?
And also it'll be towards like the timestamp or whatever is like towards like 3:20-ish on that video. So letting you know that. And then moments in trading says Megan the Connor, and I love it. I'm here for it. Unfortunately.
Thank you, Daz and Katie. Oh, no, that's yours,
Well,
KDH
thank y'all
gifted.
still. I'm just kidding.
KDH gifted someone in difficult research. So there you
One
go.
of my biggest cheerleaders right there, KDH.
Oh,
She
good, good,
always
good, good.
sends me daily articles every day in my
Yeah.
email, and I mean, doesn't skip a beat. I appreciate her for that. I appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Thank
You have a
you.
wonderful, wonderful channel and subscribers. Thanks everybody for being here and for Crush was always so interesting to listen to. So, and my husband is frying hamburgers in the background. I don't know if
What?
you can hear
How
that.
you gonna do that to us at the very end? We're
Man,
coming
it
over.
smells good
Okay.
too. You come on
We'll
over.
be
He'll
there.
make plenty. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. All
We're
right,
on
y'all.
our way.
Y'all have a very great Friday night, and I'm going to see you around on the streets of YouTube. Okay. See you
Yeah.
later. Thank you, Krista.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Living each moment, giving truth from the heart. No deceptions woven, no false starts. It goes like a front porch swaying in the ocean breeze, watching the sunset fade.